Andrew Timming, thank you so much for your time. Were you sacked for simply not doing your job, or is it because of this tweet, really?
Look, the excuse that RMIT offered is that it was that I wasn't doing teaching that had been assigned to me. The real reason is that there has been a whole series, not just the tweet, but a whole series of occurrences or happenings at RMIT that demonstrate an unambiguous bias against individuals with a conservative viewpoint, such as my own. Obviously, the details of the case I can't talk about now, but I will say that when the facts come out in the Federal Circuit Court, the Australian public will be shocked at how their tax dollars are at work at RMIT.
Are you surprised that the university could have had such a strong reaction to the tweet? Because I would have thought, I've seen a million times more offensive, if that's the word, or provocative tweets from academics. Why would this one cause such a fuss?
Look, it was made against Greta Thunberg, and Greta Thunberg has an entire woke army of social justice warriors that advocate on her behalf. And my criticism of Greta Thunberg certainly didn't correspond with condoning Andrew Tate. I find him equally obnoxious. But what happened was Greta's woke army went to work. There were a number of formal complaints against me that went to the university, that went straight to the vice chancellor. I think they saw me. They knew that I was a liability as a conservative academic, and they saw me as problematic in that sense. But as I said before, I think it was less the tweet in and of itself and more the fact that I exercised a workplace right to lodge a grievance alleging violation of the intellectual freedom policy at the university.
And now, I mean, there's almost a suffocating ideology, and you came right up against it in the hearings, conciliation hearings, attempt to mediate with Fair Work Australia. You said the judge in that hearing, this is preparatory to you lodging your case in the federal court, you said he should not hear your case. Why was that?
Well, the process of lodging an unfair general protections dismissal claim in the federal court or the Federal Circuit Court requires all applicants to go through an attempt at mediation in the Fair Work Commission. Now, in my case, in our case, I say our case because the Free Speech Union of Australia was representing me throughout these proceedings, we were allocated to a commissioner, Scott Connolly, who comes from a very strong trade union, traditional trade union background. This was knowing full well that throughout my career, I've made various claims against traditional trade unions, arguing that they are anachronistic, arguing that they are vehicles of far left woke ideology. And you can see this now with the trade unions' support for organizations like Hamas. So that was one factor. I've published on why it no longer makes sense to join a trade union, a traditional trade union, and then I get allocated this career trade unionist as a commissioner who was appointed by the Albanese government. That's obviously a conflict of interest. But perhaps more poignantly, during the lead up to our mediation session, I noticed that in the chamber's emails that were sent to me, there were not only the Indigenous flags, but also the Progress Pride flag, which very much, they argue, indicates inclusion, but it is very exclusionary for someone like myself with gender-critical beliefs. And so I pointed out the fact that in the UK, there have been a number of cases recently. There was the Forstater case and the Joe Phoenix case more recently that concluded that holding gender-critical beliefs is a legally protected characteristic. I hold gender-critical beliefs. I do not stand for what the Progress Pride flag stands for. And so we made an application for apprehended bias on the basis of the fact that the flags themselves and the fact that I have a strong sort of anti-union background may make it difficult for the commissioner to make an objective set of decisions in relation to my case. and it was dismissed. And I find the fact that it was dismissed was quite absurd, because the university's lawyers, they hired a whole team of lawyers from Landers and Roger, they stood up and gave an impassioned plea for this commissioner to remain on the case. So if there was no apprehended bias, why would they care so much that Commissioner Connolly stay with my case?
Well, I guess it's open to the Commissioner to find that whatever his background, he can still judge impartially. That said, I must add that I would find that a hostile environment myself. And I think we've got to take that into consideration as well. Andrew Timming, fascinating case, a long way to go still. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.